Kia ora e te whānau. So I came up with a plan. I just found this. It's a lovely blue and it's out of an address book, and I thought it suited our little journal nicely. So I'm just going to film it. I'm going to see how it goes, see if it works. Most of it should be self-explanatory, so I'm going to film it in silence because there's no point in me talking to myself if it's a complete waste of time. And I will voice over if I need to, if it works. How about that? Hopefully this works out. Okay, here we go. You are going to need a picture with a window. I guess if you're watching this, it means it did turn out and you would have seen the result on the beginning of the video. I need some decent sturdy card, and I would say this is 300 GSM, and I need my page that I'm going to put it onto. And I am just going to start creating. Fingers crossed. Okay, so first step, cut out the window. And any image of a window will do. Now the piece that's going to sit behind the window, I don't want it plain white, so I'm just going to cover just enough in coffee stained paper. So I'm just going to glue that on. Could cover the whole thing in paper that you want. I just didn't want to waste it. I can use these little scraps. Now I need to slice off the bottom of the window, nice and clean, right across the bottom of that image, and ink it. Now you need to cut these pieces, and it needs to be a little bit wider than the picture, and you need to have little tabs on the end that will act as a stopper, but you don't want it any wider than the card that it's going to sit onto. And I'm just going to cut about 1 millimeter off either side, just so that it's slightly shorter than the width of the card that it's going to be backed onto. You'll see why we need to do that later. Okay, I'm just going to cut a little divot punch in the top so that it's easy to grab the tab that we're going to make. And we just need to measure how much we need to chop off the top. So place the window into the rest of the image perfectly, and then just above we're going to just mark a little line and then cut that excess up there off. Okay, slice along those marks that we made now that we know the height we need. I'm just going to quickly make a tab. I just had normal paper at hand, so I've just cut a little card piece as well so that I can make the tab a little bit more substantial and not so flimsy. Then we've got to figure out where the tab needs to go so that it sits in that divot nicely. So just pop that image back where it goes and give it a glue. Pop it on and then just double check and make any quick adjustments if you need to. Now, not this card, but the other bit. This would be a great time to grab that cardstock, glue the other bit to the cardstock, and recut out the window just to reinforce that a little bit. Okay, now this is the tricky bit, so I will leave this on normal speed. Line it up so that you've got an even amount, that 1 millimeter on either side, and that it's flush at the top. Then don't allow it to move. Place the picture over the top and just place some glue along the bottom of that image, adhering it to that other piece of card that's not got the window on it. Then you can, once you've got that little bit glued, you can glue the rest of it, and you want to glue right up to the top, so right on that bottom edge of that window, because you don't want the card to slide any lower than that. Okay, now we just need to put a little bit of glue just on the top here. It can only go on those very edges. It's just, this is where our stopper is, so that the window can't slide all the way out, and those tabs at the bottom that we made are going to stop at that glue point. So you don't want to smooth it down perfectly. You want to now grab your window card and quickly pop that underneath. Place it perfectly, and then make sure that glue is adhering nicely. So this is where I realized that I pulled the card out and the top layer was quite flimsy, so I had to peel it off and put the black cardstock on the back, which hopefully you have already done at the step that I mentioned earlier. Now we need to close up these sides. You could probably, rather than using sellotape like I have here, I would actually use paper and glue it down, just because I don't know how long the sellotape will last. And just make sure that when you put the sellotape down, you are overlapping it just that little bit to help those tabs not come out the top. So you've just got those little stoppers. So no bigger than the width of one of those little stoppers is the overlap. Do that to both sides, trim both sides. And I decided I just wanted to make it a little bit more rustic looking, so I've just got a small nail file here, and I'm just going over the shiny blue bits with my nail file just to make it a little bit more rustic. I'm not going to touch the flowers. I'm just going to go wherever there is blue or plain black, and then I'm going to chuck a little bit of ink over it as well. Time to decorate the inside. You can leave it plain if you like, but I want some writing lines in there, and I'm just going to put some transfers in as well. That's going to extend the look of the garden box going to the inside of here as well. You can put whatever you want, stickers, you can leave it blank like I said, you could have used lined paper to begin with, you could put a picture in there, whatever you like. Okay, so all I've done now is I have literally glued it to my card or paper. I've covered these slightly because I wanted to keep those tabs in. I thought they were quite cool. They just made a different shape, so I've just covered them with the same paper that I used to make the tab. And there we go. I've got a cute little hidden writing space pocket page that you wouldn't even know is there at first glance. So these pages are slightly bigger and they do stick out a little bit of the journal. So I'd really like to know your opinion as to whether or not we should do away with this journal cover and just make another one, or what we should do there, because I definitely don't want to take them out of the journal. It definitely will be, I will make these into 3 signatures rather than just the one, because you will notice if I do that, it just doesn't quite look right. So we'll see how we go. Drop me a comment as to whether we should keep this folder and deal with the bit sticking out the edges, or if we should change it completely. Okay, till next time. Love you guys. Ka kite.